So those of you who watch my videos often will know that I have recently started a kind of weight loss plan. I'm not on any particular plan, so it's not Weight Watchers or that kind of thing. It's just kind of cutting back, doing what works for me. I've done 2 videos where I kind of talk about what I eat in a day, so I'll link those in the description box if you want to go and have a look at those. But I decided to do a video about weight loss motivation tips because I have lost almost a stone, and I'm feeling really good about it. I'm feeling really sort of positive and that kind of thing. And so many of you had asked me on my Facebook page if I could share some motivation tips, because it can be really hard to kind of stay on track and keep motivated and that kind of thing. So in this video I'm just going to share with you my top tips for staying on track when it comes to weight loss. I've written them all down, and the first one is to know your good and bad habits and tackle them. Now this kind of sounds like a strange thing to kind of include in motivation tips, but I find this really helps because I think all of us have got habits that are better and habits that are worse. And if you kind of acknowledge your good and bad habits, it's easier to handle. So for example, if your good habits are that you drink a lot of water, then you can kind of pat yourself on the back for that and make sure you keep doing that. And if your bad habits, for example, are that you like to eat late at night, you can try and tackle that by eating something like just fruit late at night, or try and drink herbal teas throughout the night so you kind of feel fuller. Know what your problem areas are in weight loss and know what your good areas are, and then you'll kind of find it easier to make sure that you keep doing the good ones and to try and solve what your bad areas are. The second tip is to have a treat day, but no binging. Now, a treat day, a lot of you had asked me how I felt about this, and I do think that having a day where you relax your kind of weight loss regime and just eat what you like is a really good idea. But at the same time, I feel like treat days can sometimes encourage you to binge, because you'll be thinking about all this food that you're not eating, and then you'll just eat it all in one day, and that's just a little bit unhealthy in my opinion, and it kind of gives you an unhealthy attitude towards food. So what I do is, it tends to be on a weekend because that tends to be when I'm going out and that kind of thing, and on a Saturday or a Sunday, it depends what I'm doing, I will kind of enjoy a meal out and enjoy the things that I have been craving all week. And that's kind of what helps me get through the week, because if I really fancy some pizza, I can kind of think, no, it's okay, you can just carry on, and then 3 more days you can have a slice of pizza. So don't eat the whole tray. Order a smaller portion. I will order like a Domino's. I think they're like is it the medium? I'm not sure. The 6 slices anyway. Not a very big thing. They are very calorific, but it's your kind of treat day, so you can indulge in something that you fancy. Just don't binge and eat tons and tons of chocolate and that kind of thing, because that's really unhealthy. The third tip is to use the sources that you've got. So read weight loss magazines, but read the right ones. I personally really love the Rosemary Connolly magazines. I'm not following the Rosemary Connolly diet, but I just like to kind of read things like that for kind of motivation. And I'm not suggesting you read like all these silly magazines that have celebrity weight loss plans where they lose 2 stone in a week and things like that. Don't read those, because they're really discouraging. If you read the right kind of things, you can find it really uplifting and really motivational, and you'll kind of feel more eager to succeed, because you'll be reading all these things about real people that have done it. Obviously, in the magazine they kind of exaggerate things a little bit, but it still is really helpful. Tip number 4 is a really obvious one, and it's a kind of big dieter's cliche, but it's to it's to set small goals. Now, if you tell yourself, right, from the word go, I'm not going to eat any chocolate, I'm not going to eat any crisps, I'm going to lose 2 stone in a week, that's really not very realistic, and it's not going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, you're going to feel really discouraged, which means you're more likely to just throw in the towel and give up. If you set smaller goals, so I think that kind of if you try and lose maybe 1 kilo a week, or half a kilo to 1 kilo a week. I'm not sure what that is in pounds and all that kind of thing. I work in kilos. Kilos is what sounds right to me. then it's a lot easier for you to kind of be happy when you've reached that doable target. And yes, it might take a little bit longer and that kind of thing, but you'll also be really pleasantly surprised if you've lost more. You'll be kind of you'll feel really motivated, and if you don't, you're not setting yourself up for failure, which I think is a really important thing to not do. Then number 5 is to zone out of the diet hype. Now this is a really hard one for me personally, but I love reading about diets. I love kind of seeing what other people do and what works for them and that type of thing, but it can be really confusing and really difficult. So you need to kind of try and zone out of the diet hype, not listen to all the talk and look at all the articles and all the books and that type of thing, because because they will just end up making you confused, and you need to be focusing on what you're doing and not on what other people are doing. So you can kind of, if you think something might work for you, you can take that into account, but try and just zone out of that type of thing and try and not let it affect you as much, because it can just get on top of you and you kind of get sucked up into the whole, well, this is good for you, this is bad for you, and you just overthink it and overcomplicate it, and it's just pointless. Then number 6 is know why you want to lose the weight. Now this is again a little bit of a cliche weight loss thing, but I know that a lot of people have got that saying of, don't do it for anyone else, do it for yourself, do it for your health. And yes, they are true, do it for your health, but let's not pretend that weight loss has nothing to do with wanting to look good and fit into smaller clothes, because newsflash, it does. And if you are just doing it for your health, then congratulations, you've kind of managed to get to that point. But personally, I know that I want to fit into my older clothes, I want to be able to feel good and to look good, and I just want to fit back into my older clothes and kind of feel like the better version of me again, which I don't feel like at the moment, being heavier. So if you kind of think about it and just know why you're doing it, don't do it because your boyfriend would like you to be slimmer or that kind of thing. Make sure that it is a reason that's for you, but it doesn't have to be that kind of cliche reason of love your body and that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that, because I know that a lot of people don't really believe in that. Then number 7 is think what you want to aspire to look like. Now, I have written a blog post about this, and I am all about the Thesparkleicious photo. Now, when I say Thesparkleicious, I don't mean in that horrible anorexia website type of way where they all want their bones to be sticking out and that kind of thing. Absolutely not what I'm talking about. What I mean is, if you have a photo of you that you think you look nice in and you look slim and you want to get back to that photo, I think that's such a motivational thing to do, because you can look at that and you can think, I've been there, I did that, I did look like that, I can do this, because you've already done it. If you haven't got a photo like that and it's kind of your first time losing weight, then try and just imagine in your head what you would like to look like, how you'd like to feel, and if you want to kind of look really healthy and that kind of thing, don't try and look like a celebrity, because I hear so many women all the time saying about, like, oh, my body ideal would be like Kim Kardashian, and it's just like, well, unless you're genetically blessed, we're not going to be Kelly Brook or Kim Kardashian. It doesn't matter what you do, you're just not going to look like that. So if you've got a photo of you at your kind of peak in a way, it's easier for you to look at that photo and think, yep, I'm going to get back to that, that's what I want to get back to. I'm going to insert a picture now of my kind of inspiring photo, just to give you an idea of what I would like. I'm not by any means showing off at how skinny I was or anything like that, because I wasn't. It was just the kind of weight that I would like to get back to, that I was the most happy with. Then number 8 is oh sorry, is it number 8? No. Oh yeah, number 8. Sorry, I got confused there. Number 8, and this is the last one, is stay away from the scales. Now, this is a really tricky one in my opinion, because I am one of those people that if I've got scales in the house, I'm constantly hopping on and off the scales, seeing what I've gained, what I've lost, what I've gained, what I've lost, and it is a really vicious circle. And I have got scales, but my scales are broken. They were some really cheap, horrible ones from Argos that were like £3, and my boyfriend bought them, and we just sort of had them in the house. And then when I went away, I weighed my luggage on them, and I think I've kind of done something to them because they just say things that don't really make sense. And I weighed myself on someone else's scales yesterday, which is how I know that I've lost almost a stone. But then I weighed myself on my scales this morning, and they said that I weighed like a lot. Anyway, I'm not going to say the number so no one will get offended or anything, but I weighed a lot. I weighed what I don't really weigh, put it that way. And I do remember when I did have scales in the house constantly, I'd be always hopping up and off the scales because I wanted to see, you know, what I'd lost, what I'd gained, and I'd get obsessed with, you know, like I had electrical scales and I'd get obsessed with how many grams I'd gained, and I'd try and calculate in my head what that meant about what I'd eaten and how much water I'd drank and that kind of thing. And it's just really disheartening, and there's no need for it. Yes, you should weigh yourself maybe like once every 2 weeks or something like that, just to kind of track your progress, but personally I just think that scales just really soul destroying, and you're better off measuring yourself. You can see the inches going away, and just go by clothes. You know, you can, if for example you want to fit into a size 8 or a size 10, then if you've got those jeans there and you can just keep trying them on until they fit you. Yes, it's disheartening when they don't fit you, but I feel like it's more disheartening when you're constantly checking the scales, because then it fluctuates so much and it depends on so many different factors, and I just don't think that it is worth it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If any of you have got any other motivational tips and tricks, then definitely pop them in the comments below, because I'm sure we will all benefit from it. And I will be doing more of these types of videos, so if you've got any requests of kind of weight related videos and that kind of thing, then definitely let me know. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye!